Today I'm thrilled to have a conversation with Awele Akemu, who is the CEO of Koins Microfinance Bank Limited. So meet Awele. Once you come in contact with her, instantly you sense a calm authority, professionalism, and friendly aura. As CEO of Koins Microfinance Bank, she drives growth, manages risk, and ensures regulatory compliance. She holds a BSc in economics from the University of Ibadan and is an alumna of the Lagos Business School's Senior Management Program and has completed several professional development courses, including building high-performance teams and anti-money laundering. She's also a proud member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Awele also worked at GT Bank for 11 years in retail, commercial banking and operations, and as head of the transaction services unit. From all of these, you can tell she is skilled at leadership and financial knowledge. And beyond the boardroom, she loves reading, exploring food and travel documentaries. Awele is married and is a proud mom to 2 teenage children with a deep passion for family, connection, and growth. Awele, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm really thrilled to have you here, and I know that our viewers will gain a lot of insights from your experience and all that you're going to share today. So let's start from the beginning, right? So tell us more about yourself and your childhood experience and how it has inspired you to become who you are today.
So thank you for having me, Ginika, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today. So I am a firstborn and I grew up on the University of Ibadan campus. It was a very interesting childhood. I've always been surrounded by a lot of family members, lots of cousins, lots of aunties, lots of uncles. So it's always been a fun childhood. From the beginning, when I think about it in retrospect, I think that position prepared me for my leadership journey in several ways. So I was the firstborn, and I was also the first granddaughter out of, I think, about 20 something, almost 30.
Wow.
And so, thinking about it now, that must have been part of what contributed to a lot of the leadership skills I've built over time. And of course, I went to school on the campus, my primary, secondary, and university. And then, of course, I left UI after I graduated to serve in Lagos. And that was when my banking career started. And the journey I've been on for almost 20 years in banking so far.
Fantastic. From when I read your profile, I was really inspired. First, I know we've met a couple of times, and I never knew that who you are, the MD and CEO of Koins Microfinance. So when I found out, I was like, "Whoa, I have to bring Awele on my show," because I'm sure that we're going to learn a lot from your experience. Now, let's talk about the people that inspired you as your career developed over the years. Are they people that really contributed to you? So beyond the family dynamics and all the things that you learned from your parents, what about other mentors, from your workplace or acquaintances and so on?
So I would say definitely there was inspiration from the family. I can't discount that. My mom, my grandmothers, I had a lot of aunties, my father, and I always watched them as I grew up, watched them in their workplaces, watched them as they interacted with their colleagues. And, I was picking up 1 or 2 things from them as that journey went along. And then, of course, getting into the workplace, I started, of course, to observe a lot of people. I shadowed a lot of people. There were people who I looked up to. They may or may not have known that I was looking up to them, but I looked up to them. And there were certain leadership skills or qualities I had noticed in them, and I wanted to imbibe. And so I learned, I was just shadowing them. If you ask them, they may not know me. Some of them may know me, some of them may not know me. But the point was that I wanted to be a certain type of leader, and I knew what I wanted to be or the kind of qualities I wanted to embody. And so from internally, my family members, and then of course in the workplace, I picked a lot from various people I came into contact with.
So out of all these people, who amongst them would you say inspired you the most?
That would be.
And maybe if you can give an example of what you learned from them or from the person.
Okay, that would be a very difficult question, you know.
Okay.
But one person comes to mind, and I wouldn't really mention her name now, but she was a director, an executive director when I worked at GT Bank, and she had a very large portfolio. And why I'm picking her as an example is because despite the high pressure of the role she was in, because working in banking already is a very high pressure job, and then of course as a director of, I think at that time, the Southwest region, very high pressure, she was able to display empathy at all times. I cannot tell you now, I can't even think of an example now when she sort of lost it. You know, if you for anyone who has been in the banking industry in Nigeria, and you don't even have to be in it, you know, might know one or two friends there. There are lots of stories around, you know, when you're under pressure, performance reviews, lots of horror stories. And, you know, a lot of things happen, a lot of people say a lot of things. But at that position of authority or leadership that she held, she always displayed empathy. So she would let you know, if you've done what you're supposed to do, she will, of course, congratulate you, you know, publicly. If you've not also done what you're not supposed to do, she would also let you know.
Publicly?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, these performance reviews are usually public.
Oh, yes.
You know, but the point is, how is she passing the message across? And that was what I took from her. So I always knew at that stage, even as a junior employee, that whenever I got to a senior position, whether in banking or anywhere, I would learn to treat human beings the way she treated.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's something that I can't forget.
You know, they say one of the hallmarks of true leadership is being able to communicate effectively.
Yes.
And it's not just about speaking, it's about how you speak
how
and
you
how
speak.
it also
Very
lands
important.
to the person that is listening to you.
Very important.
From your profile, you know, it's obvious that you've been through, you've grown through the ranks, let me put it that way. And I know quite well that you would have, you know, encountered a lot of challenges and setbacks. So as a leader, how were you able to navigate all those challenges and setbacks?
So the mindset I've always had, I'm not afraid of challenges. Challenges are a part of life. And if I go through my career journey, and not only my career journey, even my life journey, there have been challenges that I have gone through and come out of. And that all those challenges and the way I responded to them have shaped me into the person I am today. And if those challenges did not happen, I probably won't be the person I am today. So I'm not afraid of challenges. That's the first things first. You know, but whenever a challenge comes, I see it as a learning opportunity. How do we, you know, surmount this challenge? So it's not about are we going to, my mindset is always we will surmount it, but how? You know, and of course, on my career journey, something I've always learned and working well with teams. You know, we have to sit down together and figure a way out. It's not negotiable. It's not negotiable. We must find a way to surmount this challenge, and the question is how. And you know, so engagement and all that to ensure that, you know, we come out of it. So challenges they're just a way of life, and they are things that have built my resilience over time. And so that's the way I look at challenges.
Yeah, so for you to grow, I personally believe that as well. You know, for you to get to the next level, you have to be open-minded. You know, so when these challenges come, as you surmount them, your confidence continues to grow.
Yes.
And you know, you continue to improve. So that's a great one. Then when it comes to leadership now, so you're a leader. And you've already listed some qualities of a good leader, but I'd like to hear more from you. You've talked about empathy, communication, but what more would you say are the qualities of a good leader?
So apart from empathy and communication, I would say strategic thinking, very important, because as a leader, you should be able to have a big picture and envision where the organization is going and how you want to take that organization in that direction. So strategic thinking is very important. Resilience is very important because I don't think there's any leader you'd come across today who you can say has not gone through one thing or the other in the organization, even in the economy. COVID was an example.
Yes.
You know, so you must just be able to. So resilience is a skill that you must have.
But how do we build resilience? Because I know some young professionals will be wondering,
Yes.
you're starting up in your career or in your
Yes.
mid-career level,
Yes.
and you're wondering how to build resilience. What would you say?
You must be open to handle difficult tasks.
Okay.
So you just can't look for the easy way out. You must be open to managing difficult situations, handling difficult tasks, and just putting yourself out there. There's an easy road where you can just, there's an easy road which is smooth and you can just get to your destination smoothly. But you should also look for things that will challenge you.
I like that.
You should look for things that will challenge you. For things that will challenge you. And with that, you just find that you're building your resilience over time. And if you put yourself in those situations, you definitely encounter difficult people, difficult activities, difficult things. And then with time, your learning is growing, your resilience is being
some
built.
would also say, so some mentors would say, if there's an opportunity in the office and probably someone is asking who wants to take this up, a new project, who wants to be part of the team, you could actually opt to be part of the team, take it up and learn new skills.
And that is something I've always done. But at the time, I'm not sure if I was consciously looking for that.
Yes.
That's what I would say. But my career was, from the beginning, I always sort of wanted to choose the easy path. And in banking, typically the easy part is like operations. You just dot the I's, cross the T's, and you go home. And so that has always been my direction. But at the point, I veered off. And when I veered off, I started to learn a lot. I'd been in banking for almost 11 years, and there's so many things that I should know as a banker, but I didn't know. I started why are you doing this? What does this mean? And when projects or activities were happening which were outside of my area at the time, I just sort of wanted to be involved, and I was always getting involved, and that was how I moved out of maybe the straight and narrow path and then onto the bumpy path, and then that's where it has led me to where I am today.
So all those experiences led you to who you are today.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when you were talking about your time in the bank, you mentioned a lady that inspired you and how much you learned from her. Now, you are the CEO of your bank, and there are lots of most of your colleagues, or I would say all of them are looking up to you. So how do you keep them inspired? How do you inspire them?
So first things first. Communication is key. It's very key. Letting them know clearly the direction the organization is going at every given time, providing support, ensuring that I'm available at all times, and just embodying the type of leader I want to be. People, I find, draw strength or draw some kind of inspiration from the leaders they're exposed to. And so I feel that if I'm able to display the type of leadership traits and qualities, ideal leadership traits and qualities, my team should be able to draw strength from that and sort of push them through on their journey. So I work very hard to develop myself so that I am the best type of leader that I can be, both for myself and also for the organization.
I know that actually trickles down.
Yes.
So the people under you are learning from you, and that's how it trickles down to the entire organization.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. But in terms of your personal growth, so you are a CEO right now. How do you continue to improve in terms of your in terms of knowledge, trends, just keeping up? How do you do that?
So I don't read as much as I would like to. I used to be a very good reader. I'm still reading. So I'm currently on a book. I've spent way too long on it.
What's the name of the book?
Lean In.
Cheryl, Lean In.
I spent too long. So I'm reading it again, actually. Yes. So I was spending too long on that. I listen to a number of podcasts. I try to listen as frequently as possible. I read on industry developments. I attend as many sessions as I can at the LBS, anchored by the CIB, and just to keep abreast of industry trends. So apart from reading, there are podcasts, there are sessions I attend, and then of course formal trainings which I attend as well. So the truth is, the world is ever changing, and the world we are in today is changing even faster, and one must keep abreast of activities and innovations as they happen. So it's very important. I take it as a very key aspect of my development to ensure that I keep myself abreast of all developments.
Fantastic. So when we talk about keeping a pace with trends and all of that, I would like to, so within your sector, your industry,
Yes.
what trends do you think will shape the future?
So there are a lot of trends, technology, various aspects of technology. AI, everybody's talking about AI. AI is already here, in various forms. And the banking industry is highly regulated, extremely highly regulated for obvious reasons. And AI has a key role to play. The CBN has recently talked about open banking, and open banking has a lot to do with artificial intelligence. So those are trends that we're going to continue to see evolve as time goes on. So it's going to be quite an interesting journey in the future.
Okay, so for the benefit of my viewers, what is open banking?
So open banking is, it's like a policy that the CBN has brought in place saying financial institutions, not only the traditional banks and other players in the industry should open up, that's the word, open up their platforms to each other to exchange information. So I'm a customer of Bank A, you are in Bank B. My bank should be able to exchange information to develop products that would sort of suit me. So what I might be a saver here, I may be a borrower in the other bank. And then looking at all the trends and transaction patterns, if we relate with each other, we should know that, this person is borrowing here, this person is saving here. Why don't we develop a product that would enable this person, for example, bank in one place? So there's flow of information using technology and various other technical means, sharing information to develop products for customers and also to even encourage financial inclusion a bit more. So that's just it about it.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to all of that.
Yes, as time goes on.
All right, so let's talk about your hobbies, right? You like to read. You've already told me that you're reading a book right now and you listen to a lot of podcasts as well. You like to explore food and travel documentaries. So in terms of work-life balance, how do you do it? Because I believe that you'll be so busy.
So
how do you get
first
time
of
to
all,
do that?
there's nothing like work-life balance. There's some type of integration.
Yes.
I would say work-life integration. So there are some times that are extremely hectic. So maybe if I look at 2 weeks ago, I was getting ready for a board meeting. So leading up to that 2 weeks were extremely hectic and all that. Then after the board meeting, there's some respite.
Yes.
So my children are no longer toddlers. So I don't have to be, just chasing them about hand and foot. But I always make sure that I have time for myself. So I like to watch documentaries. I like to watch Netflix, and I like to watch a lot of crime dramas, food dramas, and travel dramas. So those are my things. So when I leave here and I'm going back, I'm going to continue. So that's just how I've tried to distress. So get ready for a new week. I've done everything I need to do, and I just relax, and then I watch some TV. I also make sure I find time for myself, like self-care. I don't joke with that. So I always slot in time out for myself somewhere. Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. So most of my viewers are young professionals, and if there's any word you want to leave for them, what would that be?
So if there was a word I would leave, I would say, don't run away from a challenge. Don't run away from a challenge. It's always more comfortable to take the easy road, but it's more rewarding if you take on challenges.
Yes.
You might be burnt. It might not always be a nice journey, or it might not always end in the best results or what we are looking for. But the point is that coming out of those challenges builds your resilience and exposes you to so many scenarios. So I would say, don't run away from a challenge and just take it head on.
Thank you so much, Awele, for being on the show today. I'm quite sure that all our viewers would have gleaned a lot of rich insights from our conversation today. And that's it for this episode. And I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel, 3 Minute Convos, to watch my conversations and podcasts on 3 Minute Convos with Ginika. And see you next time. Thank you.